All right. So I think this is going to be part 2 for the crochet video. Want to keep hanging out with me? So what we started talking about scary movies. I just checked to update. I just checked to see cuz Jen said she was going to be streaming 7:20 my time. She was going to do 4:20. She had been driving around when I was trying to log into a live stream. I don't know what she's doing. You know? I've been kind of hanging around all day. Sorry, Jen, this is not anything bad. We just keep missing each other. And I know she's got a lot of stuff. And she already streamed today. Whether or not she streams is up to her. She's got to do what's right for her and her schedule. But yeah, I think tomorrow I'm just going to do my own thing. We'll see what happens. I might let Curtis know that he can come up. Oh yeah, that girl that has the channel, she goes, this is the yarn dungeon. I need to get the lighting. I need to paint the walls. I haven't, since we moved here a few years ago, I haven't painted yet. We did put in flooring. And I just put white curtains for now because I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I think I might end up doing like a faux finish on the walls, but I haven't decided what or what color. So this is kind of bland. I might just get like some kind of a scarf or tapestry or like, what do you call it? Just something to hang on the wall here for when I film. And when I do get the downstairs area organized, I want to set up like a table down there so I can have a computer. I can get proper lighting and set up a little studio area down there to do some of my videos. And that would be really cool. If I could find a way to do videos that you guys would like, and then I get better at editing them and making them fun for everyone, and it ends up, if I end up improving quite a bit, which I hope to, it'll be a lot less boring once I can edit them and add music. And like I said, I'd like to do some more funny ones. I have quite a few saved to do commentary on, as far as like ADHD memes to make you feel better. And I do talk about ADHD a lot because that's why I started this channel. But, however, I have a lot of other interests as well. So it's going to be a lot of other things. I guess with the algorithm though, me doing art or maybe crochet, I don't know if this will, like if I should have a separate channel for that, because once I start doing art things, it might attract those people to the channel and they might be like, oh, it's all ADHD stuff, and they might not be interested. And likewise, my ADHD friends and neurodivergent friends of all walk of life might not like it if they see me spending time on other things. I really have so many interests. Do you have special interests? How do you define special interests? So special interests, the stereotype a special interest. It comes from autism, and there was a stereotype of the little boy who loves trains. And it's interesting to me that this stereotype is still floating around. That you might have something that, so the difference between a hobby and an interest and I guess special interest, and ADHD folks can have that too, is it's borderline obsession. It's like all you're interested in. So if you go to a party or a family reunion, you keep wanting to talk about the thing that you're interested in, not the small talk. and it may not be something that they're interested in. So, and looking back, yeah, I've gone through an astrology phase on and off for years, like 2 decades solid, to the point that I was like, and I know it's a pseudoscience. It's not even a science. I consider it a spirituality. So it's not, I definitely take it with a grain of salt. All my science friends, don't worry. My brain is not in Never Never Land. I know what it is and what it's not. It's just a hobby. And that's another thing. I have the two sides to me. So I have a science side because my dad was a science guy. And things have to be facts and they have to be provable. So I like physics. There's a lot I don't remember. I didn't have oh shoot. I don't have the memory for them like he did. Oh God, he was awesome. I miss my dad. He's passed away. I missed him terribly. And we didn't always get along. And it's ironic that he might have had autism. He was amazing, man. I could ask him anything about physics. I could ask him about new information, like anytime something came out about another, like at one point the smallest particle was a quark, and then it ended up being something else. So I could always say, hey, what's going on these days in science? What's the smallest particle now? And there'll be like something new they discovered that he'd tell me all about. Or if I forget, because I forget a lot of things, some kind of conundrum. Usually it might be, hey, can you explain string theory again? Or maybe like, hey, how do they know? Like I might forget. Like, how do they know that lead is in the middle of the earth or whatever material is there? Because it's like the most dense thing, of course. Is it lead? Comment below if you're a science person. Wow, I am so rusty, guys. That is basic science. That's not even anything complicated. But yeah, cool stuff. Like, I still would like to wrap my head around what happens at the, what do you call it? Hold on a second. I'm just pulling this through. The, what's that edge of the black hole called? Event horizon. That's so crazy to me. How, like, let's say you were to get close enough to a black hole to be pulled into the event horizon. Something about the physics being all messed up because, black holes, like, they mess with, the laws of physics in the universe don't necessarily apply at a place, at a vortex of, Now I'm tired. It's late. I'm not even going to remember. I'm going to look it up now because now I'm curious. Yeah. I think it's crazy to me that some people will write fiction or they think that maybe we could use wormholes in the future to travel. I'm thinking if something's that powerful, what substance would not be destroyed? I feel like that would be sheer fantasy. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not a physicist. And it's been a long time since I've taken science classes. Oh. What's his name? Tyson. I love him. I can't remember anything. My ADHD is really kicking in, but it's because I'm tired. And so I'm like hanging out here. I'm wondering if she's going to live stream or not. I don't know if I'm going to seek her out tomorrow and watch tomorrow be the day that she goes, hey, let's live stream. Neil deGrasse Tyson. He has a cool channel on YouTube. You guys should check it out. I don't remember, and I haven't learned a lot about it, but I guess, what's that actor? There's an actor that sent him an alternate theory to the atomic table of elements. And I found it interesting, but at the same time, when Neil deGrasse Tyson had his response to that, I don't know enough about what he was talking about because it was new to me, this other alternate way of looking at the periodic table, to debunk it. But I thought it was interesting. It was interesting to see a theory of a different way of looking at elements and, you know, matter. And I guess, what is his name? I'll think of it later. So he kind of took it personally, I guess, when, you know, Neil deGrasse Tyson is a scientist. He is, I believe, an astrophysicist. And there's a quote from him that there's not many of them walking around. So if you find one, ask them a question. And who doesn't love to learn new things, right? I think concepts of time. Do you think that time is real? You know, the concept of going back in time, going forward in time. What do you think of time? Oh, this other guy, I watched his video. I didn't watch it to the end. Wow, I'm so crazy rusty. There's a lot I don't remember. Like, I don't think I've thought about these things very much since at least 2016 when my dad passed away, because he and I used to be able to talk about all that stuff. So, and if it's not something that is something I'm working on or thinking about presently, and it's been a while, I'm not going to hold it in my brain. Although if something becomes my special interest, it's crazy. I won't remember where I put my keys. I'll lose my glasses. I'll lose track of time. But I could tell you a symbolism of all the different planets and the luminaries in astrology and the differences between the different chart systems and all that garbage. And Myers-Briggs is very interesting. I haven't got into it enough to understand the cognitive functions. Anybody into Myers-Briggs? I find it really interesting because when I was a kid, my parents, they worked in the same office, and they were doing, in the 80s, they were doing that in this company. They were doing Myers-Briggs, and it was for morale, because it helped people to understand each other. We like to think that everyone thinks just like us. I think especially before, you know, the concept of neurodivergence and ADHD and all of that. And it's not true. We have different values. We have different things that are important to us, different priorities. And I feel that, you know, they call Myers-Briggs a pseudoscience. You can get like the brief quiz, the 16 personalities, but it's not as accurate as if you were to actually pay the money to have like a full legitimate Myers-Briggs evaluation. But I don't see why we should disregard it, because it's basically a categorized list, and the answers we're giving is we're basically defining to the person testing us, we're saying what our preferences are. And the titles of all the different, you know, introverted, extroverted, you know, sensing and intuition, feeling, thinking, judging, perceiving, we're just saying what our preferences are. we're basically telling by the answers of the questions our personality. So it's just another system, another way of looking at it. It's imperfect. I mean, humans are imperfect. So, and when you're dealing about personality, I don't know if you can't really make a science out of it, probably. But I find it really interesting. And I was very impressed with that as a kid, to see the employer take the time to give these evaluations to the employees and the managers so they can better understand each other. And it makes you have less misunderstandings, and just resent each other less, I guess. Interestingly enough, my parents, both introverted. My father has passed. He was an ISTJ. And initially, when I first took the test, it was during what do you call it? There was like we were all, the huge group of us taking the test. And I was a teenager. And it was the very first time I took it. And it actually wasn't accurate. And I talked an awful lot. Little did they know I talked a lot because I have ADHD. And so they thought I was crazy, like very much extroverted. And I thought I was too. So when my parents would come home from work, I'm actually going to put this behind me because it's getting really warm here. When my parents would come home from work and I'd be like, oh, as a kid, I'd want to talk to them. And they said, you don't understand us. We're introverted. It turns out I'm an introvert the whole time. And they almost didn't believe me when I told them. So later on, when I had the test done one-on-one with the same woman who did that for that group, and I had the full evaluation, and she does Myers-Briggs is her job. So I had a professional do it. It wasn't just like 60 questions on the internet, it was the full shebang, it was quite a few years ago, at least 20 years ago. But the only thing that changed was extroverted to introverted, but the whole rest of it is the same. I've taken different versions of the test, so I know what I am. But anyway, I'm pretty much opposite of my dad. I am an INFP. And so when you see F for feeling, that does not mean not logical. It has to do with feeling versus thinking. Has to do with when we're making decisions. I look at values first. But that doesn't mean I'm not logical. I use both. But yeah, there's no way I wouldn't be with a science dad. And it was so much fun when I was a kid. We were so different. It was almost like he and I spoke different languages. We would just misunderstand each other all the time. And because he was that type that you do something because it's expected of you. You do something, and for me, it was all about why. I wanted to know the value. If something isn't, I don't feel valuable, I'm not going to do something just because it's expected. I want to know why, and that would drive him nuts because his value, it was more about duty, which I'm not against. If I feel that my job, whatever it is, whether the expectations of me within my family, the expectations of me within a work environment, I will live up to what is required. But if I don't think something is right, I'm not going to do something just because it's somebody told me to. You know, I'm going to want to know more about it. I want to do critical thinking. It almost feels like the other way of doing things feels like, well, from my perspective, it makes me feel like people are sheep. I don't like that. I don't feel like we're cogs in a wheel. We're human beings. You know, we should be able to learn things and evaluate things and ponder things. I love pondering things. Nobody around me likes to do it. So boring, man. Am I the only one? Interestingly, my fiance, I pretty much consider him my husband. I have been married before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But, whoa. Because I have been, I'm going to say that wrong. It was a lot of work, and I feel like we're married. We've been together for 12 years. The only difference between us and a married couple is a piece of paper. And I do have a ring, but I'm just not wearing it right now because my fingers will get swollen. I have an antique ring. I have to get it sized. It's beautiful, but I almost feel like because it's from his family, I want to take very, very, very good care of it, and I don't. It's not about any monetary value. It's something that belonged to his ancestor, his great-great-grandmother. To me, you can't put a price on that. You know, people are more important than stuff. And that belonged to somebody. I mean, technically it's a thing. But yeah, it doesn't fit me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have to get it sized. And it's going to cost a bit to have. Anyway, that's a whole nother subject. But what else was I talking about? Science. Forgive me, I'm getting tired. I've been waiting for Jen to text me. I don't think she's going to do it. Anytime I ask her what her plans are, if she has a schedule, she's like, she gets frustrated, like, I don't have a schedule. But how am I supposed to get on a live stream with her if I don't know when she's going to have it? I don't know. I'll bump into her again. Perfect. So I'm starting to get tired. It's been another 23 minutes. I am going to continue working on my sweater. And my time, it's almost 8 o'clock and I'm starting to get tired. So I am going to log off for now. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I haven't really made any progress because as far as my 30 days. But I am going to show you. Now, if you're a guy, sorry, it's backwards. You don't have to get a pink, pretty planner. You don't have to use a planner at all. But I'm going to show you how I have mine laid out and how I use mine. If I don't give myself some structure, I'm literally going to lose it. I feel like I'm not to the point where I have psychosis. I have had friends. I've had one friend when I was younger who has schizophrenia, and I haven't seen her in many, many years. And she knows who she is, so if she ever sees this, I love you, and I miss you, and I hope you're doing well. The last time I saw her, I bumped into her on MySpace. She had become like an ambassador, a mental health ambassador for schizophrenia, for what she has. She would go with some of the mental health professionals, and they would have presentations, and she would come because she like rehabilitated her life. Basically, she got to live independently, which is amazing considering how severe hers were. It was really terrible. It's not a joke, and I will never share personal information about anyone's mental health situation. I won't do that. It's a HIPAA violation. I know that I'm a content creator and that may or may not apply to me, but as somebody who has taken medical classes and as somebody who used to be a pharmacy tech, that's always front and center in my mind, as well as those laws are there for a reason, and the values of why you don't share those things is the most important thing to me. You know, that's her job to share that with others. I'm just looking at this light. It looks like some water got in there. I'm gonna have to check this out tomorrow. Yeah, that's extremely personal. Extremely personal. I wouldn't wish that on anyone at all. A close friend of mine had been previously diagnosed with, and again, I won't even share anything about that person either. People have a right to choose who they want to disclose information to and who they don't about their condition. And I think because, you know, me having major depression and me having ADHD and anxiety, like those things are more normalized. And it doesn't fall under, I don't even know if they call it abnormal psych and regular psych. It's not like a psychosis, but I mean, there are consequences for people. Like me starting this channel, I'm choosing to share it. People in my life that I'm bringing up and talking about, I'm not going to give any identifiable information because I won't do it. And you don't know. It might be a he. It might be she. I might say she, but it might be he. You know, I might use a fake name. If I ever say a name, it won't be the real name. It won't be the real person. I might say they used to be a friend of mine, and maybe they're a current friend of mine, or vice versa. But yeah, I have known one person who they were diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder. There is a content creator on here. If you yourself struggle with that, there is a content creator here. She goes by Schizo. I think her name's Kit. And she chronicles her journey and her struggles with schizoaffective disorder. And she's amazing. And I'm subscribed to her because of I just have a lot of compassion for that because of the people in my life that I've known, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone. I think it'll be so nice when we understand the brain in the future much more than we do today. It's a horrible thing. You know, it'd be nice if if the things they saw and believed and felt and heard that weren't there were nice things. No, they're scary things. So it's terrible. It's a terrible, terrible thing. But yeah, my friend from many, 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 many years ago, from when I was young, I was very inspired by them. Speaking to groups of people, traveling around and speaking to groups of people as an example that you can get better. I thought that was amazing. And then she had something bad, terrible happen to her, and then she went back into treatment. She went back into hospital. So I have lost touch with family and friends that are around that person. So I don't know how they are doing right now, and I'll actually say a prayer for them tonight because I hope she's doing better. Everybody deserves to have the best life possible. You know, there's got to be a reason to us being here, and it doesn't matter if you believe in a higher power or not. I mean, especially when you go through challenging things and you have no control over it, there's got to be something good we can do with it. Because if you can't control the suffering you're going through, I mean, what solace do you have? You know, you could get totally overwhelmed and give up if you're well enough to take care of yourself and not be hospitalized. Or you can use it to help other people. But, you know, that's everybody's situation is different. The severity of people's mental health situations is different. Very grateful that we live in the time we do. And we have, as limited as it is, the help that we do have. I look forward to learning more. Yeah. Especially with schizoaffective disorder, I find very interesting because I've known quite a few people with bipolar. I think the people that I've known with bipolar. Oh, so for those who don't know, schizoaffective disorder is bipolar depression with elements of that are like schizophrenia, where you're having hallucinations. And if you want to learn more, I do not have this condition. I can't speak to it. Look up schizo, and I think it's K-I-T. So, or even just schizo. It's a play on words. She herself has it. So if you want to learn more about that condition, I feel like she's a very good resource. And I think that when she started to do her page, her channel, she was a lot younger. And I think, you know, I think she said in one of her videos that she didn't think that it was going to get the traction it did. And she was mostly doing it to help other people, but probably like me, doing it to help herself as well. I think all of us, we all have struggles, right? And I don't know, I could be wrong. There might be some charmed people out there who have no problems in life. I don't know those people. I'm wondering if somebody had no problems in life, if they would be very empathetic or compassionate towards other people. I'm wondering if that's where empathy comes from, is like when you struggle with things, or if it's like a personality trait. I'm not an expert on that. Thank you for hanging out with me, guys, while I crochet my next sweater, and I will show it to you when it's done. But yeah, growing up, people in my family struggling with depression and different things. I think if you look around and you don't think that you have had mental health conditions in people you know around you, it probably could be that they haven't shared it with you. You know, I think it's a lot more common than people realize. And be kind. You know, I'm not, like I said, I'm not super religious. I have friends and family my fiance is an atheist. And, you know, I believe in higher power. And this is not something you can prove. This is beliefs. So, not trying to say the saying because it's religious, but the meaning behind it is true. There before the grace of God go I. I mean, that could be me. That could be you. So just always try to empathize with others if you can. You know, don't be, unless somebody's like evil and stalking you and somebody's like a predator. But if you have somebody in your life who's a good person and you know and is safe to be around and they struggle with things and you might think it's weird, offer to help them. You know, be accepting, let them vent to you. Yeah, just try to be understanding if it's not something you relate to, because they might be gifted in a way that you're not. We all have different things to offer. I am not trying to be on a soapbox right now, guys. Wow, it's 35. I don't even realize I have that much to say. Give me comments below. Tell me what you want to talk about next. I hope I could do live soon, guys. Please, please. I think I got like 4 subscribers today. I'm so excited. You know, tell people who have ADHD or are neurodivergent or who just want to feel safe and accepted in who they are. Tell them to subscribe to the channel if they're interested. That would help me out, and then soon I can do lives and we can all talk together and it will be fun. I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and I will see you in the next video.